Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel. For this video, we will be talking to someone very special. Ang aking loves. Para sa mga hindi nakakaalam ng mga bata, kasi more probably you're familiar with Miss Sherry as the face and voice of Comic-Con kasi siya yung nag-handle ng programs ng Comic-Con during the events. And she is usually yung nag-accommodate with our emails and other contests. Si Ma'am Sherry nyo is also an established comics creator. She used to be published Manila Bulletin every day. And she has self-published 2 books, as well as joined a lot of other anthologies then. So ang ating guest, si Mrs. Sherry Zamar.
Hello po. Yan. Gwapo ka pala.
Huwag tayo magbulan, hindi na papanoodin to.
Okay. Serious.
Okay, so ang pinag-uusapan natin usually with our sa channel, yung kwentuhan is yung comics journey of each guest. So pag minsan may mga lumalabas na issues and other stuff, pero mostly we focus on how you started out yung love affair with Filipino comics. So do you want where do you want to start?
Okay. Hello po sa inyong lahat. Ako po ay si Sherry Baet, bago naging Zamar. Lumaki ako sa pamilya na puro artist. Both of my grandfathers are painters. Yung isang grandfather ko on my father's side is an architect. Yung father ko is an architect. My mother is an interior designer or graduate of interior design. Pero malaking influence sa akin is yung grandfather ko on my mother's side na aside from being a painter, nakwento sa akin ng mom ko na nag-advertising siya, nag-take ng advertising course, and naging cartoonist siya. Unfortunately, I never saw his works. Na-mention sa akin na naging member siya ng Samahan ng mga Cartoonista ng Pilipinas, SKP, at naabutan pa niya si Larry Alcala. Unfortunately nga, I never saw his works.
Nung shout out, baka merong may alam ng works ng lolo ni Sherry.
At nung eventually naging member ako ng SKP, I tried to ask some of the old members, kaya lang they don't recall yung aking grandfather na si Jaime Dianson. So, yun. So, yun yung aking very artistic family background.
So, may tuturing nating legacy din pala si Ma'am Sherry kasi third generation, pero yun nga, coming from isa sa mga OG na mga cartoonist nung time nung lolo niya. So, when you were a kid, did you make comic books? Did you read comic books?
Mahilig ako mag-drawing ever since I was a kid. Mahilig ako. Although familiar naman ako nung time na yon with the local comics na Funny Comics. Pero yun nga, it's parang hobby lang. I just read it. Ganyan. Binabasa-basa ko lang. Pero nahilig rin ako sa cartoons and other comics. Si Garfield yung favorite ko before. At saka later on Asterix kasi yung father ko bought us yung Asterix comics. Tapos I remember na kinokopya ko sila yung characters. I draw si Garfield, I draw yung characters ng Asterix, ganyan. Tapos all the way from grade school to high school, nagda-drawing ako. Pero ano siya, I never really took it seriously. Parang gusto ko lang mag-drawing. Pero hindi ako nag-comics. I think nag-comics lang talaga ako when I was in college. Napasama ako, nakikitambay ako sa UP.
Yeah.
From UST.
Medyo malayo yun.
From UST, may siguro once a week, tumatambay-tambay ako sa UP. I have friends there. Tapos, doon ako nagsimula actually mag-start gumawa ng characters. Also in college kasi, I was a fan of yung Tomas U. Santos na strip na gawa ni Dennis Sugdang.
This was yung comic strip that appears on the Tomasian. The Versatarian, which is yung Tomasian na school paper. Yeah.
So, I loved his artwork. Gusto ko yung style niya na medyo anime yung dating, tsaka yung humor. Tapos, doon ko nakuha yung art style ko from his art style.
Okay, so so you did not really do any comics, you did not produce any comics, as in you just love to draw when you were in college.
The first official comics na I did was sometime nga in college. I was an active member of our church, tas meron kaming newsletter na ginagawa. Yun yung mga first few strips na
ginawa. So naglalabas ka ng strips dati for your Sunday sa church paper niya.
Yeah, so yun yung mga first few strips ko. After college, doon ko na-meet yung what we call ngayon is yung friends ko na naging characters ng Carpool.
And your friends make comics, if I remember quite correctly.
Actually, so ang kwento nun, yung pinsan ko, si Khalil.
Which also does comics now.
Nagumagawa ng comics now. Si Khalil had yung batchmates niya, schoolmates, sa Lourdes, Quezon City. So, actually, siya yung nag-introduce sa akin sa kanila, and their project was really animation. I took a course in animation, kaya lang parang isang sem lang nung college. Pero magaling yung prof namin. Kaya lang yun nga, since one sem lang siya, parang very
really
basic,
in-depth, no?
very basic lang yung alam ko. Pero sige, they were looking for people who knows animation. Yung group nila was called Myths and Legends.
Myths and Legends.
Doon ko nakasama si Armand Roy Canlas. Na actually after nung nag-fail actually yung animation.
Pero yung animation, did they finish anything? I mean,
we made like ilang seconds or a minute or so na trailer na very rough.
Do you still have yung copies ng animation na ginawa?
Tanong mo si Roy if they still have a copy of that. But I don't think they do.
You don't want anybody to see it anymore.
No. Very rough nga eh. At saka, since lahat kami is really amateurs, wala talaga kaming training in making this trailer. Talagang parang leap of faith lang. Sige, kaya natin to. So, they tried to pitch it somewhere. Na-feature pa nga kami sa isang show. I forgot, parang morning show sa Channel
Basta
7.
ang naalala kong kwento niya, you got featured, tapos si Susie Entrata yung
Yeah,
nag-interview sa inyo.
yeah. Tapos,
Game plan ata yun.
probably, ayun. So, ayun, umabot kami sa ganon. Pero long story short, fail siya.
Mm.
So, after nung animation project na yon, doon lumabas ang tadadan, Culture Crush Comics.
Madalas mababanggit yun.
Okay. So nakita na, wow! Locally produced comics to. It's colored. So we can do this.
Tapos I guess, di ba, yung when you found out how much yung production ng
Yes.
animation,
Yes.
sobrang fraction lang nun yung comics. Dumahal din yung colored na comics during that time.
So, tanong kami, magkano magpa-print ng colored? Ganun ba? Sige, black and white na lang. O pwede naman yung Xerox. Okay. So, what happened was si Roy actually was the one who did yung Armored Troopers noong time na yon. Tapos ako yung marketing. Kumbaga, ako yung tagahanap kung saan ibebenta. So technically, ako lang yung taga-benta ng comics ni Roy.
Dapat talaga makausap ko din si Roy kasi after I interviewed si Melvin Kalingo, aka taga Ilog, na-mention din niya na nakikita niya yung comics ni Roy dun sa store sa UP kung saan din sila nagtitinda ng comics nila.
Yeah. So yun nga. So we were able to sell yung there's yung shop sa Katipunan, CCHQ.
Yeah.
And there was yung optical shop sa UP
SC yung Sarabia.
Shopping Center, which is in Sarabia. Tapos merong si Roy yung may food stall. Yung maliit na tindahan sa may labas ng fine arts.
Yeah.
Fine arts.
I think si Manang Babes daw or something.
Ayun. So, naglalagay na si Roy lang, nagbebenta si Roy ng comics niya nun. So, my work is ako yung taga-deliver at taga-benta, taga-kolekta ng sales. So, yun. Tapos, after doing that, CCCon was
How did you guys find out about C3Con? Kasi I guess through the magazines. Bumibili nga kayo.
Yeah, most likely through the magazine. Kasi actually, I don't remember na how we got into CCCon. Siguro nag-register kami kasi
kasi sumali kayo, di ba? Or were you invited ba since Roy is a UP Diliman alumni?
Yun nga, I can't remember na kung paano kami napunta sa C3Con. So, I remember yung orientation. Tapos, doon kita nakilala. Ikaw tsaka si Ringo. Remember?
Si Ringo.
Si Ringo. Ayun. So, you are one of the first few people I met. Tsaka si Mike ng Atomic Underground.
Si Mike ng Atomic Underground, si Joanna.
Yeah. So, I remember yung orientation. I remember attending it. Tapos, I remember selling sa C3Con.
Funny story kasi doon why we met doon sa orientation was magkapit-bahay pala kami.
Yeah. Turns out
magkapit-bahay kami. Tapos so kaming tatlo ni na Ringo, ako, tsaka si Sherry during after orientation, we took a bus home. So magkakasama kami tatlo.
So, yan. Tapos, when we were selling, magkatabi tayo. So,
Kasi
I
tayo
was,
yung maagang dumating. So,
uh,
yung maagang dumating din, sila yung may first pick nung table. So, since maaga kami nun sa may booth.
mm-mm. So, I was selling yung works ni Roy, yung comics ni Roy. Si John was selling yung minsan ako yung nanaginip, hindi pa yung digmaan sa linlahi.
Which would eventually become digmaang sa linlahi.
So, yun. So, from Culture Crash, from the C3Con, doon rin natin na-meet yung guys from Blitzworks.
We actually met a lot of guys sa C3Con. I mean, Lyndon Gregorio, Ariel Atienza of Artist Den, Blitzworks, which eventually would become Groundbreakers, Mangaholics, now Gunship Revolution, si Ray Cosen,
Si Marius.
Si Marius, founder ng Comic Cult, tapos si Joanna Tino Calingo, wife of Melvin Calingo, si Michael David of Kubori Kikyam,
Atomic Underground,
sina Marvin, Michael, at si Mark, si Nika Rojo, Abono. Actually, a lot of yung mga, they were yung mga active during the first years of Comic-Con. A lot of them we met during C3Con. And most of yung comics creators, that was yung first introduction namin to them. Kasi doon namin sila na-meet sa C3Con. Sina Sir Budget, sina everyone.
Ayan. So, after no first na C3Con, so nagkaroon ng second na C3Con, that was the time when I sold na yung Carpool as
Yung Carpool na indie format.
Indie format. So,
how many nga yung na-release mong ganun?
3 indie compilations.
Na floppy. Sana pala nilabas natin para mapakita natin sa kanila.
Okay lang. Okay. So, yun. So, lumabas yung indie format ng Carpool. So, kaya siya Carpool kasi yung friends ko, we always go on weekends na mga nagka-car trip kami, punta sa mall, ganyan, nood ng movie. Tapos, nagkaroon kami ng every Saturday, nagsiswimming kami. Kaya naging carpool.
Sorry, ako may naririnig kayo nagsiswear. Yun yung brother ko, nagsistream siya.
Ayun. Okay lang yun.
Okay.
Ayun.
Carpool. Okay. So, during that time, wala pang Comic-Con nun, no?
Wala pa.
That was way before Comic-Con.
Yes.
So, most of our nagtitinda kayo, kasi usually magkasama tayo nagtitinda na during that time.
So, bali after nung C3Con, napasama tayo later on dun sa artist din.
How did we get nga into artist then? I mean,
kasi,
I don't remember. I just remember na Friday meeting. Tapos, I guess you asked me if I was going to the meeting.
I think si Az ba yung nag-invite sa atin?
Or sa'yo. Tapos, I know I did not get an invite. You just asked me if I was going to that meeting. Tapos sumama lang ako.
Actually, hindi ko na rin maalala kung...
Kasi parang ganun yung aking pagkakatanda doon. Kasi Artist then was an artist support group. So, unlike si Sherry, I was not really sociable nung time na yon. So, si Sherry yung pala kausap with other people. Tapos, yun nga, since magkapit-bahay kami, I guess she got invited dun sa Artist Den meeting by yung mga Artist Den people. Tapos, I think she assumed na kasama din ako since I was also there dun sa dun sa meeting na yon, and then friends na kami nun sa Messenger. I
Yeah.
guess he asked me if I was going to a Friday meeting somewhere. Sa ano yan, McDonald's El Pueblo.
Yeah. El Pueblo nga ba?
Yeah, it's sa El Pueblo yun. Or yung McDonald's before na kinakatayuan nung St. Francis Square. Basta it's somewhere
Yeah.
sa
Sa
back
along that, in that area,
Mega Mall.
Yeah.
So yun nga, sumama ako doon. Tapos I got to be friends with yung ibang friends. Pero ang totoo niyan is si Sherry talaga yung friend nila.
Well, before that, actually, kaya one more reason kung bakit tayo napadalas magkasama was because of Blitzworks. Because they hired you or they asked you to work on their comic.
They
Tapos,
did not ask me. I actually, parang, if I remember correctly, there was yung ad nila sa mga mailing list. Yung parang, yun na, sabi ko na to before, yung ad nga nila medyo antagonistic yung labas kasi ang dating is yung parang we're going up against Culture Crash. Who wants to join us? Pero yun nga, ang ano ko naman dun is, uy, may group na they're making comic books. And I was making a comic book nung time na yun kasi I was doing my thesis. Or tapos na ba yung thesis? Basta during nung time na yun, I had a comic book. So either I was either doing it for yung thesis ko or finished na siya, so nandun na lang siya. So I don't know what to do with it. So I guess dahil merong mga naghahanap ng comics, I went to a meeting sa Makati with sina Eman. Yun yung naalala ko. It's medyo fuzzy na rin. Sayang, meron sana lahat yan receipts at mga resibo at mga documentation kung buhay pa yung EDSA mail. Kasi we could always just look at the inbox tapos makikita mo yung mga usapan doon.
alright. So, when you got to work sa Blitzworks, tapos sinabi mo, meron akong kakilala na pwedeng tumulong sa akin, malapit lang siya dito. so,
Pero I know friends ka rin ni na Eman eh.
yeah, oo. Kasi diba, after ng Citricon, tapos yung nag-aaya-aya silang mag-basketball.
Yeah.
Tapos, tinanong mo, susama ka ba, pupunta ka sa kanila? Sabi ko, sige, kung pupunta ka rin, they go. At least alam kong may kasabay ako pa uwi.
Pauwi. Kasi layo nun, kasi south yun. Para sa kalaman lahat, tiga north kasi kami. Tapos most of the Blitzwork people were from the south.
So, hindi naman ako pupunta doon mag-isa.
Medyo sobrang layo.
So, yun. So, doon tayo, that's where we started hanging out, working together sa Blitzworks. Tapos so later on, yung artist din.
Parang sabay ata siya. I guess sabay siya. Kasi every Friday was artist then. Every other day of that week was Blitzworks. Tapos, eventually, yun nga, after ng first na C3Con, after a couple of months, nagka-work na ako. Kasi fresh off the college ako nun, I got a job offer from Culture Crash, which is why hindi ako ikaw yung mas nakikipag-hangout kina Eman.
Yeah.
Kasi may pasok ako ng morning to evening or pag minsan overnight pa.
Tapos freelance lang ako.
Tapos freelance ka, meron ka laging, meron kang hawak mo yung time mo. So, yung time na yun, I had a job. Tapos, I remember during that time, sobrang iba nung time period na yun for comics creators. Kasi few and far between yung mga events. Tapos, we don't really get to buy a table at events. You have to wait to be invited. Parang hindi ka pwede. Well, I guess right now pwede. As in, Ngayon ko lang naisip na, we could have just pooled our money and bought a table na tayo-tayo lang. Pero we usually get invited kasi.
Kasi lalo na dun sa artist din, friends din nila si Az was one of the
Which is
organizers ng
an
Toycon.
organizer of Toycon. And
So,
yun nga,
kapag may
friends din
event
natin
sa Toycon,
sina Henry.
yeah.
So, na-invite tayo to table dun sa event nila for free. Pero yun nga, parang naisip ko, we could have always gotten a table for ourselves there. Kasi pero kasi nung time na yun, parang hindi siya ganun ka common practice for creators. Kasi,
Hindi ba like, yung UP Ame group, didn't we get a table doon as artist then?
we got a table na doon. Kasi, yun nga, they were students and they emailed us. Tapos, parang, they were not offering us a free table. They were offering us a table for us to buy. Pero yun nga, yung sa ibang events, I guess we could have gotten a table.
Yeah. So
nga, let's talk about yung books mo. Kasi parang yun yung medyo nakakaligtaan, especially pag i-invite ka to be interviewed sa ibang channels. Usually, ang pag-uusapan nyo na is Comic-Con. Kasi nga, ikaw yung voice and face ng Comic-Con. Pero yun nga, let's start with yung sa comics mo. Na-mention mo na si Tomas U. Santos yung influence. Tapos you were doing the book. Ang basis ng stories would be your friends. Tapos bigyan mo naman kami nung kwento about how it became a book, what was the reception, saan mo siya first binenta, yung mga ganung stories.
Okay, so actually nakwento ko to sa IKP yung pasingit ako. Kasi late si Kajun.
Kahanap sila ng pillar.
Naglakas loob. Pero, so yun. So nakwento ko na paste siya sa friends ko. Tapos eventually, naglabas ako online. I had, naalala ko, meron ako yung sherry.tk na website.
As in, napag-usapan din namin yan before the advent of social media. Most of us as na mga comics creators, self-publishers had yung mga GeoCity sites. Tapos yun yung favorite na short URL natin, yung .tk.
So I had my own website. I put my artworks there. Doon ko nilagay yung strips ko. Pero hindi siya yung like regular upload, like parang weekly or daily. So, kung kailan lang meron, so doon lang ako nag-upload. Tapos, I also have a DeviantArt.
DeviantArt.
Pero I don't really put my strips there. Mas yung artworks, random artworks ko yung nilalagay doon.
Tsaka yung poetry mo, mga poems mo.
So, ayun. Tapos, nung Comic-Con nung nagkaroon na ng Comic-Con, I was reunited with an old classmate, si Stanley Chi. He was a cartoonist.
Ano na yun, celebrity na ngayon. If you know si Stanley Chi, siya yung si Mr. Soplado, and he does a lot of other stuff. He's stand-up comedian din and other stuff.
So, ireg yun eh. Naging classmate ko siya sa isang subject. Tapos, I met him again during one of the early Comic-Cons. Nakita niya na I'm doing yung strips na carpool. Tapos, he suggested to me na bakit hindi mo ipasa yan sa Manila Bulletin. Go to Manila Bulletin, pakita mo kay Sir Ronnie Santiago, and then, ayun. So, I did. So, pumunta ako sa Intramuros, kung nasaan yung office ng Manila Bulletin. I met si Sir Ronnie Santiago. Wow.
Si ano rin, si Sir Norman. Alala
Oh,
ko,
yeah.
we were waiting. Papapasok din ka. Sir Norman said hi sa atin.
Ayun. Tapos, nung time na yon, so, yeah, I got approved. I started out as a filler. So, kapag filler, it means kapag
Maghihintay ka na may,
kapag
maghihintay
merong
ka na
hindi,
may hindi makapag-submit.
doon lang isisingit yung script ko. Naalala ko yun, very memorable kasi yung very first strip na lumabas ko, Valentine's Day, February 14. I forgot kung anong year. Pero February 14 lumabas yung pinakaunang strip ko sa Manila Bulletin. Tapos, ang hirap kasi nung time na yon, hindi pa sila tumatanggap ng email submissions. So, every time, gagawa ako ng strips, mag-iipon ako maraming strips, tas I have to go to Intramuros to submit my strips. I have to go to Intramuros to collect my pay. Nung naka-check tas less 10%.
Kasi nga may tax.
So, ayun. Tumagal-tagal naman. Actually, naging regular yung strips ko. Tapos, masyado ako natuwa. Nung umabot ako ng first year, sabi ko, wow! Naka 1 year ako sa Manila Bulletin. Tapos gusto ko mag-celebrate. Naisip ko, gusto kong gumawa ng libro. I want to make a compilation of all my strips.
You want to show them? As in, I think you have some there.
Yeah, I have yung second one.
Get yung first one. Wala yung first one.
I have to. So yan, when I was, well, wala. Nothing nearby. So,
sige, you continue telling your story about it. I'll look.
so, yung first book ko, ayan. The first book,
Found one. Ito yung first book.
one, ito yung two. Tada!
Yeah.
Reverse yung sa akin. Anyway.
Yeah, it's okay dito sa
Okay.
register.
So, yung first book, I have no idea how to publish my own book. So, dahil kilala natin si Lyndon Gregorio of Mercada, he's been publishing his own books for a long time.
Yeah, from whenever he started up till now, Lyndon never had a publisher. Lyndon has been self-publishing his books for like 20 or more years now.
Over
He's
20
that old.
years. So, syempre, I asked him, Lyndon, paano, I want to make my own book. Paano ako magpa-publish ng book? And how do I put it in the bookstores? Tapos yun. So, madali lang yung for us, yung pag-layout and maghanap ng printer.
Kasi that's our work.
Pero yung the part na paglagay ng book sa bookstores was, wow, I did not expect that. I had to register for a business dahil kailangan ng bookstores ng official receipts.
Yeah.
So,
Which was, I guess I have to say this, which was a boon for other creators kasi kasama na ako. Because I did not have to do what Sherry did kasi Sherry already had the receipts. So most of us na we could, parang pwede kami mag-piggyback since Sherry is already a publisher.
ano yun? Yung pangalan pa ng business ka nun, Sherry Graphic Design.
Yeah, if may ito Sherry Graphics.
Yeah.
If you would notice, most of yung mga .0 books had also yung Sherry Graphics design. Kasi that means we could use yung receipts ni Sherry.
Ah. So, ako ang resibo girl. So like kapag nakikibenta sila sa mga stores, like yun nga, yung sa CCHQ, they use my receipts.
Yeah, basically parang the same thing that happened when Tepay did then with Meganon.
Yeah, yun. They had to register for a business, Meganon Comics. Tapos, para lang so that they can have receipts so that their books can be put in the bookstores. So, ayun. Yun pa nga yung first book ko. Nung nalaman ko kung magkano aabutin sa I asked for money for help. So yung mom ko gave me money for printing. Tapos yung friends ko gave me money for printing the book. So, thank you sa kanila for helping me out. So, yun, finally, yay!
Marami pang money dun eh. Marami pa akong money.
So, nga. Saka pa. So, yun. I was able to have my book printed. Tapos, nakapag-register na ako. I have my receipts. Lumabas na yung book ko. I sold it sa events. Tapos, doon nag-start yung hirap ng pag-deliver ng books to the nearest bookstores. I was able to deliver to 10 national bookstores lang.
Ito yung sinasabi ni Sherry na yan.
Yeah,
These three, yung original na indie versions ng Carpool before pa to ng Manila Bulletin.
Yeah. So, ayun. I think it's written here.
This is the first book.
Ayun, so first few sketches of Carpool were done in June 2002. Tapos, first few strips were inked in January 2003. Tapos, it came on
this was website. Way before. This was like 2 years before ng Comic-Con.
Tapos, first compilation came out during the second C3Con comic book, December 2003. There were 3 compilations sold in selected comic stores.
Actually, yung time na yun is parang blur sa akin. So, medyo nagme-meld sa akin yung mga pangyayari yung second C3Con towards first Comic-Con, but that's like 3 years. Kasi ang dami nangyari ng 3 years na yun.
First, Carpool was first published in the Manila Bulletin on February 14, 2004.
Sa year before Comic-Con.
Tapos, first published compilation was released March of 2005. Wala pang Comic-Con nun.
A few months before Comic-Con.
Yeah. Tapos, a big milestone for Sherry being the artist, the first Filipino cartoonist to publish her own book. So says the article that was printed in the Manila Bulletin, which was written by Chong Ardevilla and Lyndon Gregorio Lodge, March 14, 2005. Yeah.
Tapos during that time, parang ang parang grind talaga yung pagbenta ng books kasi that was before Comic-Con. Parang nung March 2005, we did not even, wala pa ata tayong idea that we're gonna do Comic-Con that year. Wala pa, no? I guess that's around June after UP Ame.
Yeah, that was the time na naisip natin yung mga meetings natin dun sa bahay nila Lito.
Parang yun right after UP Ame, parang naisip natin na if the kids can do it, bakit parang maybe we can do it as well.
Tapos since si Lyndon was a graduate of UP Diliman.
Yeah, but we had members that were alumni and yun nga, na-peg natin na venue was bahay ng alumni ng UP. And madalas doon si Lyndon. Kasi Lyndon uses yung SC to produce yung books niya. So, yun.
Well, yun, actually, that's where most of us...
Yeah, most of us were... Well, up till before the pandemic hit, most of us, and before it burned down, most of the comics creators were...
Daming comic books na nabuo doon sa UP
sa
Shopping
UPSC.
Center.
Actually, most of the photocopiers around the area din ng UP. Meaning also, that includes Philcoa, and that also includes Katipunan. Maraming nabuo doon ng mga indies. Isa, Intermatrix, the other Blessings, lahat ng mga shops na yun.
Yeah.
DGR.
The Addicts.
Hindi yun yung pangalan nun.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Kasi I used to, ako ata, nung when I was starting, hindi ata pala, totoong story to. When I was starting to do my books, I knew about UPSC, pero since my brother was studying there, I did not want to go to UP kahit malapit sa bahay namin. So, ang ginagawa ko, since yung area namin was mostly small press, gahanap ako ng mga nagpo-photocopy din around. So, yung isa kong naging friend na mga photocopiers was right across NCBA. Tapos, sobrang mura magpa-print doon, and sobrang natutuwa sila doon sa pinapa-photocopy ko dahil comics. So, maganda yung rate na bigay nila sa akin. Pati sa binding and editing, maganda yung rate nila. Kaya nga nawala sila since nung inayos yung facade ng NCBA, nawala sila.
For the record, hindi talaga sila addicts.
Hindi talaga.
Wala.
Well, hopefully, hindi talaga sila. So, yun.
So, yun yung story ko ng carpool.
Ayan, you did not tell us. Saan mo siya unang binenta? Do you remember?
Well,
itong book na to?
2004 siya, yung unang book.
The first book was 2004 ba? Diba March 2005? It was right after...
March 2005.
Yung year mo, yung first year anniversary mo sa Manila Bulletin.
So March 2005. Tapos I was delivering to 10 national bookstores and 2.
Do you remember yung first event mo selling the book?
I think malamang kung March yan, then naabutan natin Toycon. So malamang Toycon yun. Tapos,
hindi ko rin naalala.
Yeah, kasi the closest event kasi tuwing June is in Toycon. So,
yeah. So how was the reception nung book?
Okay naman. I was able to sell some. So.
Yeah, that's why you made the second book. I mean, you got a feature nga sa Manila Bulletin sa mother company mo.
Yeah.
And you got marami ka rin ibang features, alam ko, hindi lang sa Manila Bulletin.
The article is here dun sa second book. So, yan. I put yung article dun sa second book.
So, parang medyo, it's a medyo nakakaligtaang fact. Pero itong si Ma'am Sherry natin was one of the few women creators during that time that was self-publishing. Tapos, like most of our women, sobrang tapang niya. Siya yung talagang nag-venture into mainstream retailing, mainstream retail talaga yung pinuntirya niya, hindi lang events or talagang kumuha siya ng papers, as in yung legal papers para makapagbenta siya sa mga bookstores.
Actually, it's funny when I look back at it kasi naisip ko lang na alam mo yung gumawa ka lang ng desisyon tapos ginawa mo. Parang sa'yo,
yeah.
gagawa ako ng libro. Okay. Tapos, sige, lalagay ko sa bookstore. So, okay, sige, register,
Which is why
deliver.
parang right now pag maraming nagtatanong, kasi nasagot namin because of yung mga experiences ni Ma'am Sherry about that. My experiences ko working for publishing din. So, dun, ayun yung parang accumulated namin throughout the years. Kasi pag minsan people think na, uy, nag-organize lang sila ng event. Pero ang ano niyan is, before we organized events, we used to do the things that most of the creators do din.
So, yun.
Eh, nakakalimutan na nila eh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, actually 2005, 'di ba? So, nalabas ko yung book. Tapos January 2005 rin. That's the time when I started having a regular job na dapat ikaw yung kukunin.
My classmate was working for an amusement company. Tapos she was thinking of changing careers and she offered, and I was looking for a job. I do not know why I was looking for a job then kasi maganda naman yung work ko. Pero yung nabubore lang siguro ako sa ginagawa ko during that time. So I took an interview, tapos parang they wanted me to take a medical na and start na rin actually. Pero hindi nga ako, parang naisip ko, bakit ko nga ba kukunin tong job na to? So I asked si Sherry,
I needed
gusto
a
niya
job.
ng job.
I needed a job kasi noong time na yon, there was a time na naging regular ako sa Manila Bulletin. Tapos nag-move up pa nga sila, naging colored yung comic strips noon.
No, before it became colored, it was nag-move up sila na naging 2 page yung comic strip pages. Tapos the other page was full of puro Filipino talent. Puro Filipino yung mga strips na nandun.
Tapos nag-colored sila. Kaya lang, unfortunately, kailangan nila mag-cut na, so yun.
Yeah, kasi naging, they were back into 1 page ulit. So maraming...
So, yung nabawasan kami. And dahil doon, I really needed to get a regular job na. So, I got yung job that was originally offered to you. And tada!
Tapos ngayon na siya, 16th year na niya dun sa job na yun.
Yeah, I've been in that company for 16 years. Diba? Tapos, dahil nga doon, when I started, medyo easy-easy pa yung work. Nakakapag-drawing pa ako during
breaks.
A few office hours. During breaks. Kapag, pero eventually kasi lumaki yung company super na naging 100 plus branches na siya. And I really didn't have the time to draw na. Tapos, ang funny nun kasi doon sa work, I was working Monday to Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Kapag Saturdays, hanggang 3 p.m. yung work. Kaya lang, we started having yung events.
Yeah.
Tapos, Saturday na lang actually is yung available time ko to do yung deliveries and collections ng mga sales ko.
Mo, no?
So, I actually asked yung boss ko, Sir, lakas loob, either give me a raise or get rid of my Saturday work. Let me work ng Monday to Friday na lang. Sige, wag ka na magtrabaho ng Sabado. Ayun. So, I got my free day. Monday to Friday na lang ako nag-work. Tapos, I got my Saturdays off to do yung deliveries and my collections. Ayan. Tapos, Comic-Con started 2005 din. And eventually, I had to stop kasi I got married and I had a baby. Ayun.
So, as in sinacrifice ni Sherry yung kanyang race para magkaroon ng time para sa mga events.
Yeah.
As in, if you think nga, ang dami nating parang give up para dun sa time na para magkaroon tayo ng events. Looking back now, parang, kasi ayun nga, nangyari na rin sa amin na most of yung dates namin is not really a date. As in, most of the time lalabas kami kasi makipag-meeting kami para kung saan. Tapos yun na lang yung date namin.
Samahan mo ako doon sa Makati, magde-deliver
Yan.
ng books.
Basta siya, parang related na siya lahat sa comics. As in, either comics merchandise, comics selling, comics retail, or meeting siya with, may meet tayong would-be sponsor or would-be exhibitor sa event. Tapos ganun.
Kasi nga, I mentioned earlier na I had to stop delivering books and making strips kasi I eventually got married.
So, kasalanan ko pala yun.
And I had a baby.
So, pero di ba there is enough material for a third book.
Yeah.
Which is lagi naman na-bring up when you get interviewed. As in, kailan yung third book?
Kasi the material is pretty, nga, kaya siya sa isang book. Kaya lang, feeling ko kulang siya. I need to add to it. Kaya lang, so sobrang tagal ko nang hindi nagdo-drawing, parang nakalimutan na ng kamay ko kung paano. And I find it hard na kasi gusto ko ikwento kung bakit ako nag-stop.
Yeah, yun yung magandang ending actually.
Gusto kong ikwento kung ano yung nangyari nung time na yon sa grupo namin. From the time na yung hanggang sa nag-stop ako. Kasi we all had families.
From being single, most of you were single then. Tapos you get to hang out more often. Tapos since then, everybody had a family na. Everybody had children na.
Yeah.
Medyo witness din kasi ako nung time na yun with what's happening with their group. So, less and less time na rin yung naging hangout time nila. And most of them, yun na, it's just life, di ba? Life found a way na maghiwa-hiwalay sila ng ginagawa. There was a time na ka-work ko yung isa niyang kabarkada, si Roy sa office.
Mas madalas mo pa makita si Roy kaysa sa akin.
And there was a time na nagtatrabaho din si Roy dito sa bahay since meron na akong production studio din. So yun. Actually, magandang ending for book 3 yun. If you could do yung epilogue.
Yeah.
What happened to the group and everything.
You'd think na I'd finally have the time to finish it since yung quarantine. Kasi I'm not doing anything.
Pero you found things to do.
I found things to do. Naging home teacher ako, shadow teacher kay Joaquin since online na yung classes.
But ito ata yung first time na magkasama tayo ng ganito katagal sa bahay.
Yeah.
Tapos nagsisisi na siya.
Ako, ikaw.
Kasi most of the time naman kasi
full-time work, Monday to
Friday. May day
Friday.
job ka kasi tapos
by the time you wake up, wala ako. Kasi I go to work, I leave the house as early as 5 in the morning. I get home mga 6, 7, or 8 in the evening, depende sa traffic. At tapos magkikita tayo on Saturdays. Tapos yung usual na Saturdays natin is yung dates natin or meetings.
Hindi nga dates yun. Like I said, most of the time, yung Saturdays are more work, either for Comic-Con or for yung mga books namin. So, parang sinisingit mo na lang na, pero most of the time, parang work pa rin siya. Or may event, so magmaman kami ng booth or something.
Yung weekends natin is not really rest day. It's may events
it's
din.
really comic day.
As a family. Ayun.
Like, if there's an FCBG, we go to yung shops. Or if like may event somewhere, we go there. So, ito yung parang longest period of time na magkasama talaga kami, sure.
Yeah. Pero yung schedules din natin, like paggising kami in the morning, that's the time when you sleep.
Yeah, well,
Tapos by the time that we sleep, that's the time you're awake.
well, mostly because since nga you're also working pag minsan dito. So, I work at night na lang. Or talaga mas gusto ko talaga mag-work at night.
Mas sanay ka talaga mag-work sa gabi. Mas productive ka at night kaysa sa...
kasi London time.
But kasi nasanay ka na rin na your clients is US-based.
Mostly, yeah. US-based or some other time-based. Iba yung time period. Iba yung time period, mga medieval yun.
Doctor Who. Ibang timeline. Ibang universe.
So yun, as in, ang daming nakwento. As in, most of this were, if you could find yung IKP, nakwento na ni Ma'am Sherry ninyo yung kwentong yan. Tapos, some of yung mga snippets na mga kwento na hindi naman, marami pa kami pwedeng pag-usapan. Actually, pwede pa namin pag-usapan about Comic-Con and years nung Comic-Con. As in, that's like 15 years of worth of stories then.
Yeah.
Pero, siguro let's cut this episode short. Maybe we could do a second part. Yun naman pag-isapan natin is yung Comic-Con and formation ng Comic-Con and other stuff. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, actually, kasi for people who've been watching us, normally kapag may interviews about Comic-Con, is ang usual na lumalabas is either si John or me.
So baka sawa-sawa na kayo sa pagmumukha namin talking about Comic-Con.
Oo nga eh. So
I guess we should ask si Patrick or si Ariel.
Ayun, actually yun nga eh. You should like interview si Lyndon.
Si Lyndon. Pero I would like then kasi
he was the one who helped me self-publish.
Pero yun din kasi parang na-overshadow usually nung interview ni Lyndon, usually Comic-Con na rin yun na pag-uusapan. Pero like I said, Lyndon is a self-publisher that has been self-publishing his own IP for more than 20 years.
Yeah.
And that alone is a certain feat. Tapos yun din, he has his own brand, he has his own
merchandise.
IP, yung intellectual property niya, which is still going strong up to this day, still published by a national broadsheet that is distributed nationally. Still, nagpo-produce pa rin siya ng content. So, yun nga, parang people sometimes forget that Lyndon is still Lyndon. Only because yung efforts niya with Comic-Con is parang na-overshadow pag minsan yung work niya. Which is sad kasi, yun nga, Lyndon is one of yung mga OG na mga self-publishers.
Yeah. Tsaka yun nga, shout out lagi kasi laging tayong dalawa yung nakikita for Comic-Con, pero there are other people.
There are 6 people
Ariel
that makes up Comic-Con, and Comic-Con won't be Comic-Con without them.
So Ariel Atienza, Lyndon Gregorio, Laymun
Lay
Ka,
Mungkal,
Patrick
and Patrick Junco. Yun lang. And Sherry and me. So pag merong nagpapakilala sa inyo ng Comic-Con sila, tapos wala sila dun sa names na nabanggit namin, hindi sila Comic-Con. Yan. So, thank you. Thank you sa mga nanood sa amin. This is a very special episode. May part 2 to, sure.
kapag wala kang ibang makausap.
Once again, please do leave a like, share this video to your friends. If you are so inclined, please do subscribe to the channel. And if you do subscribe to the channel, please do click on that notification bell so you know when I'll be uploading other stuff. Marami pa tayong kwentuhan na darating. And actually, juicy yung week lineup ko next week. Yung mga makakausap ko. So, watch out for that. Thank you guys and bye-bye.